I was recently given access to the GitHub Copilot Chat feature. In Visual Studio Code Insiders, you can install the plugin and then be given the ability to do things like, hey, look at the find by name function in tag service. Now I need a similar function that just returns tags that have dashboard boolean equals false. So you can talk to it like you can talk to ChatGPT, and it can look at your code and provide feedback or suggestions or code snippets. And I thought it would work better than ChatGPT because, well, this I was hoping wouldn't require that I keep giving it the same context. So if you watched my previous video, how I work with ChatGPT is I'll copy and paste whole parts like the model, the component. So if I'm working with a React application, I will give all of the context that I can within that 4,000 to 8,000 character limit, and then get an exact response back on the code that I'm trying to implement. And I thought this would be better because it would have access to all of my code and I don't have to keep copying and pasting. What I was trying to do as an example is I was adding this feature. So on this Galora application that I'm creating for you to put in your tasks and goals and use AI, kind of auto GPT for your own personal goals, I wanted to have, so I already had this today's focus, but I wanted to be able to dynamically add things onto the landing page, extra tabs. So I have here that you'd be able to switch between and close. And what I did is I started asking it, just like I would copy and paste parts of my application, like the dashboard component. So I would normally copy and paste it in, but I started just asking it questions like, hey, how do I implement this thing? And when it got down to the service that needed to be created and started getting to more and more specifics, it had a difficult time. So I wanted to show a specific example of how it kind of failed to do an equivalent job that ChatGPT GPT-4 could do for me. So here I said, hey, look at the find by name function in the tag service, and then give me back this other thing that I needed in order to find the basically tags that I had on the main page here. So this is just adding tabs based on the tasks that are associated with a specific type of thing, like the work tag or the entrepreneur tag, that type of thing. But it wasn't able, it just gave me back kind of a general implementation. It looked at some of my code and was able to kind of do it, but then it also put in this direct call to Axios rather than using my API. And so I would say, no, you don't use Axios directly. Can't you look at how the find by name is using the API object and do it like that? So then it said, you're right, I apologize, similar to ChatGPT, but then it came and it got rid of the filtering. So it was very basic. It just said, hey, give me your tags, and then it would return everything. That's not what I wanted either. So I said, don't you see how you have to use filtering like in the find by name? And then it went and it created a different implementation than what I would normally do in my code. And then finally I just said, no, it's a Strappy filter. And then so it said to filter tags with dashboard boolean equal to false. It tried again, but again, it just went back to the basic. And so I started asking it, are you using GPT-3 or 4? Because you don't seem smart enough to be using 4. And it says, I'm sorry if my responses have not met your expectations. But then this I thought was the most telling. It says, I apologize for any confusion, but I am not using GPT-3 or GPT-4. I am an AI programming assistant designed to assist with technical questions related to programming. My responses are generated based on pre-existing code and information that I have been trained on. While I strive to provide accurate and helpful responses, I am not capable of the same level of natural language processing as GPT-3 or GPT-4. So right there, it's like, why wouldn't I want to use the best? And the best experience that I've gotten from doing this type of programming with AI comes from using GPT for directly. And I just wanted to give an example. Then I switched over here. I said, hey, listen, can you give me a similar tag query that filters by a Boolean in the tag.ts model called dashboard? It should use Strappy filtering similar to this function. So then I just copy and paste my function, and then it spit out perfectly exactly what I wanted. And I was able to use that. And then from there, as you can see, I had a really long conversation about the rest of the implementation. And so that took, a decent amount of back and forth, but I was much more assured that it was giving me exact responses based on the context. So you'll see back and forth, I keep giving it, I'm going to have to change the name of the incoming tags because I already used that. But then I would again, I'd paste in my tasks filter props, my tasks filter, my dashboard component, and I would keep repeating, copying and pasting. And that's what I was hoping that I could get away from with Copilot Chat feature. And it can look at the code. You don't have to copy and paste, but it's not as smart as GPT-4. And so, it just can't get you the same exact results that you're looking for. So I went back and had that conversation with GPT-4, instead copying and pasting the way that I normally did to implement this feature. So being able to add new tabs that could give me the focus of a particular type of tag. So that's what I wanted to show you and kind of give you the information about that. Still, GPT-4 is, in my opinion, better than using Copilot Chat or Copilot Chat. And but I do think that once it's using something as smart as GPT-4, not having to copy and paste in code, and it can just look at your entire code base, will be a game changer. But it's not there yet. All right, thanks. Bye.